Good morning, Griffin, Indiana residents. It is your friendly local farmer, and it is early spring of our final game year here on Griffin, Indiana. That means we have just count them, 4 more weeks to go till the release of Farming Simulator Double Deuce. And today, well, we've got a lot of work to do related to getting our newest field prepared for planting. The goal this year is to double crop our fields, canola and corn. Not canola and soybeans, canola and corn. Because the best price to sell soybeans is in the summer, which means that, well, we're not going to play a 5th year here on Griffin, Indiana. We're only going to do 4, so why plant a crop that we're, in essence, not going to get our best price for until the following year? So we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to plant corn. That way we can sell both our canola and our corn over winter and reap the best rewards possible. Now, yes, the astute among you are going to be like, why is the fertilizer spreader on the front of the tractor? Well, it's on the front of the tractor because you can't put the ground sensor on the front of the tractor. Duh. But really, it is on the front of the tractor because, well, we're going to do some fertilizing contracts today. And I brought it down here to get some fertilizing pallets. Sorry, pig bags. There we go. It's like I've never played this game before. And we need to lease our crop sensor. So yeah, let's 867. Yepers. We're gonna dig. We're gonna dig. We're going to hook up to that because I've taken out a contract on field 22, which is going to pay me out $15,000. And hopefully field 11's contract will hold out. Field 25's contract will also hold out. And we'll be able to earn ourselves some nice money today on top of getting that field prepped for planting. If we look at our seasonal schedule, we can plant corn as early as mid-spring. So I'm going to drop this off right here. So as soon as we have good ground temps, we're going to go ahead and put corn in that field and hope that we get our canola out of there early summer, to then have a very, very busy day of getting everything flipped around and putting corn back in the field. But before that, this video is brought to you by Stubborn Disciple Plays. Thank you for being a farm baron. So that is kind of the goal of the year, if you will, summed up in just a few short minutes here on first day of spring. But overall, I'd say this gameplay and the Bellsburn gameplay have been fairly similar in style, because that's just how I like to play. In general, I don't like to borrow a lot of money. In fact, oftentimes I even forget that you can borrow money in the game, because it's just not something that I tend to do and think about doing. So in essence, nearly every gameplay I play is debt-free, because I don't take out loans. To use buzzwords that seem to be popular amongst the popular tubers and streamers of the day. Survival. It seems like just about every series I ever do is survival. Starting from near nothing and working our way up from there. Debt-free, pretty much every series I do is debt-free because we just don't take out a loan. I don't even think about it. Single tractor challenge. I've seen that thrown around before. You're looking at her, baby. 57 hours. So what other popular things have there been? Start from scratch. Check, did that many times. I would say the ultimate start from scratch was back in FS17 days on Emerald Coast, where we literally started with maybe at the most. I mean, this is going back 5 years now, maybe. Maybe started with $100 in my pocket, a chainsaw, and a old Chevy C10 pickup truck. That's all we had. Now, I give you FS17, you didn't have to buy the trees. So forest was free reign. So we didn't have to buy the trees, but let's pretend that we had one plot of trees. And we basically worked our way up from having no money, no equipment, other than a chainsaw and a pickup. And over 7 years of seasons gameplay, advanced to owning the entire map, running multiple farms with animals, lots of animals. So yeah, you go back and look at my abundance of playlists. We've probably played most gameways. Probably the only game style that I haven't played is to play ridiculously stupid, unrealistic gameplays. I'm not super heavy in the role play, creating characters, backstories, because quite frankly, that's a lot of effort, and I'll end up getting things mixed up. So here's your sign. Got that done. Let's send this off for sampling Y. And then we will need to lime this field, no doubt. We'll fertilize it after we put corn in it. Or maybe we'll fertilize it while we're putting corn in it, depending on the planter that we use. $8,000. I don't know if we have enough money to lime that, or if we need to do the fertilizing contract first. Yeah, this series, the way I set it up is basically I started a new farmer mode. I sold the farm buildings and equipment, and then basically placed down the stuff I wanted to place, did a little landscaping, maybe added a few bucks here and there in order to get started with some starting equipment, but we really didn't start with a whole lot of cash, and we definitely didn't start with a whole lot of land. And that was pretty strategic on my part, because again, this is the first time I've done 3-day seasons, and looking back at it, it's not been all that unmanageable. I think we may have been fairly lucky with our winters. We didn't have super rough winters that really drug out a long time to get things dried out. Fertilizing. We'll go with that one. $2,000. So let's go ahead and lease that. Now, let me just jump back up here to the farm. I don't think I have lime up here. But if I do, that will definitely help out the money situation. I do have lime. How much? Nearly 2,000 liters of lime. All right, so we'll just... we'll run up there and grab that pallet. Or big bag of lime. We'll apply that on the field and see how far that goes. See how much more lime we need. And then we'll have to, before we do that, we'll have to assess what type of soil we have over there. I suspect it's going to be basically a continuation of the soil that's right next door, but you never know. Indeed it was. Indeed it is. Basically a continuation of next door's soil types. Let's take a look. So we have sandy loam and loam. Got to get the pH up. And we'll see how much one pass gets us. Or 2,000 liters almost. And that was basically 20%. So it looks like we're going to get maybe a pass and a half out of this. So if we take a look, that's 2 passes. To 20%, 40%. All right, I'm going to fill this thing up. I think it's going to come pretty darn close to taking an entire trailer load of lime. So let's see. Let's see how well we've guesstimated for lime usage. So it was about $1,600 to get 9,000 liters of lime. And I'm going to say it's going to be somewhere between, we're going to end up with somewhere between 20% and 0% lime left after putting lime down on this field. That's kind of my gut sensation here. So let's see how close that ends up being. I think if for some odd reason we are actually not able to finish, then we're probably going to be so close that I'm just going to not worry about it. So we'll have to double back and finish up this section that we missed. Make sure we are on auto application rate. Yes, indeed we are. So I have to say, with respect to Farm Sim 22 and being just 1 month away, it feels like Giants has got some stuff they're keeping close to their chest still. Some features that I think are going to go unannounced. They're just going to be there. Maybe little surprises for players. It's hard to say. So with the auto rate on, it's not picking up that these little bits are actually missing any, so that's good. So I am recording this a little bit ahead of schedule. I've been trying to keep at least a week ahead for the Griffin, Indiana and Felsburn series, just because I do know that there are some games coming out that I do want to have time on. And of course there's other things going on that could occupy some time, so I just want to have that little bit of buffer. Problem with that buffer is, of course, I can't speak to current events related to Farm Sim news. So maybe there was a blog post this week. So when this video comes out the following week, it would be old news, but for me, it hasn't happened yet. So we'll talk about things that we're still curious about. We still don't really know a lot about animals. How are they going to be different? Seems like they're going to be different, but how are they going to be different? What's going to be involved with them? There was some hope that there would be some new animals coming to FS22, but doesn't seem like that at this point. The enhanced AI helper menu, is that a thing? Is that gone? Was that a fleeting feature that wasn't really fleshed out and was just kind of an idea poking around on the FarmCon build? It didn't show up in the Gamescon build. What's up with all the screenshots where we've seen lane skipping or apparent lane skipping? Is that somehow going to be a thing? And if we're not having GPS, then yeah, what is this magic that is providing the lane skipping functionality? These are all questions that I think lots of us have that haven't been answered yet. So we got 2,700 liters of lime unused. I really wish there was a way to sell that back, given the fact that we've got $4,400, but I don't know, it is what it is. We don't really need it on the other fields. I don't think we're going to have enough time to put lime down on those other fields between harvests, so it's kind of wasted money to some point. But what features are you thinking yourself that they've teased but haven't really fully fleshed out so far with 4 weeks to go? I think quite frankly they have more information to share than there are weeks to devote to sharing it. I think there needs to be a whole week on animals, multiple weeks on animals, quite frankly. but a whole news posting on animals, a whole news posting on helpers, if this helper menu thing is a thing. We did get a really awesome posting showing the production chart, the production flow, which was really great. Unload. Yeah, left on you. There we go. So we'll return that. And now it's time to earn some money. And what better way to earn money than to time lapse this whole thing? So sit on back, put on your headphones, crank up the volume, and enjoy the tunes. So when this Vicon Couverland DLC came out and we had the variable spread rate of this fertilizer spreader that we're using here, it was pretty monumental. And something that has been revealed by going to farmingsimulator.com's website and looking at games, which is going to show you all the information for the upcoming FS22. If you scroll down, you'll see a whole bunch of brands and brand icons. And you can click on vehicles, harvesters, equipment, etc. to kind of resort that. There's an Amazon fertilizer spreader that's coming to FS22 that has a 41 meter spread width. So the one we're using here has 45 meters is the max width, and that's the width that we use typically when we do these contracts. Hammer them out pretty quick. Less passes up and down the field. So that's pretty monumental, I think. Having a base game spreader that will do 41 meters of solid fertilizer. You know, this one, the Vicon Couverland, it's a paid DLC, so of course, you know, not everyone is necessarily going to have access to it. But those that do have access to it, well, it is a really nice piece of kit for sure. And I'm really excited to be able to see that 41 meter Amazon spreader making its way to the base game. No idea if it's going to be variable width. It looks like it's going to be a fixed width. But that's something else to talk about, is with a lot of this DLC stuff being included in the base game, we're going to have modders with the ability to finally get access to see how Giants is making use of some of these new features, and therefore we should be able to hopefully see that new functionality make its way into other mods for FS22. I think most notably would be like the John Deere round cotton baler with its 2-chamber design, which was replicated with the Vicon fast baler with its 2-chamber design. So modders having access to basically open that up in GE and look at it, look at the XML, figure out how Giants was doing the 2-chamber, the pre-compression chamber, and then moving product over to the 2nd chamber to allow for a continuous round baling wrapping operation. I think that's going to open up a whole lot of avenues to modders. And there's going to be other stuff that I'm not thinking about. The variable width here indeed is something else that's going to be really interesting to see modders take advantage of in FS22. So I'm going to finish this contract out. It won't take too terrible long to knock the rest of field 25 out. That's going to earn us another $6,000 or so. So not a bad income for the day, given the fact that we had to do some field testing. We had to lease a spreader, buy some lime. Basically, we have that field now prepared for planting. We could plant as early as tomorrow, game day tomorrow. We'll just have to see where the ground temps are and what else might be on the board to get done. Well, thank everybody for coming out and watching. Like I said, big shout out to all the farm hands, farm bosses, and farm barons. If you have not joined the channel and you've been maybe considering it, then what's holding you back? Go ahead and just click that join button down below the video. Read about the different membership levels. I think they're all very affordably priced. 99 cents for farm hand, $1.99 for farm boss, and $2.99 a month for farm baron. And until next time, happy farming.